Hi, my name's Denise. I'm taking part in the Live Below the Line challenge this year for Malaria No More UK. So the whole idea is that you live on £1 a day for 5 days, because the pound it's seen as the poverty line. So if you can spend more than £1 a day, you're slightly above the poverty line. If you spend less than £1 a day or £1 a day, then you are below the poverty line. You'd be surprised how many people that affects. It affects millions, billions of people across the world. So it's definitely worth doing, not just to raise awareness, but to do it for charities like Malaria No More UK. A lot of people have actually asked me what's malaria got to do with poverty. Well, diseases like malaria, typhoid, AIDS, diphtheria, things like that, they have a huge impact on poverty and the poverty level within a country. There's a reason why we all get vaccinated for every disease under the sun in developed countries, because it has a huge impact on the economy, society, even the politics as well. If you haven't got a healthy population that can't go to school, that can't get educated, and therefore, cannot do the jobs that need to be done, a country's infrastructure just falls apart or just doesn't work properly. It's unhealthy. If the population's unhealthy, the infrastructure, the national infrastructure isn't healthy either. So yeah, a lot of people also have asked me why have I chosen Malaria No More. Malaria is an issue that's quite close to my heart, because I spent 3 months in Sierra Leone over the summer, and I contracted malaria, and my symptoms manifested themselves when I came home. And after a couple of weeks of being home, I had a severe fever, very violent shakes. Eventually, I was also vomiting. I lost all appetite. It's not that you don't want to eat. You be absolutely starving, but you just can't eat. You just don't have the appetite. I didn't actually realise I had malaria. I was in complete denial. I assumed that you needed a headache to have malaria, or that was a key symptom, but it wasn't. I didn't vomit till the very last minute. I didn't have a headache, and it wasn't until I became very, very, very sick. I vomited in my bathroom behind me, and then that's when it clicked. I've got malaria, and I went to the Royal Victoria Hospital in Belfast and was treated in their ICU unit for a week. So I was in a pretty bad state. So it's an issue close to my heart. For me, it's a good enough reason to take part in Live Below Line, to raise awareness of not just the fact that people live on less than £1 a day, but how diseases like malaria can contribute to this poverty line and keeping those people below that poverty line. If a child in Sierra Leone that comes from a very poor family, if that child's constantly, and they will constantly, and they do constantly contract malaria, if they haven't died from it in infancy, then they will suffer from it for the rest of their life. Malaria is not just a one-time thing. Once you've got it, it never goes away. It will reoccur on you. Luckily, I've got a strain that isn't known to reoccur too often, so I've been very, very lucky in that case. But the children and the people we worked with in Sierra Leone were constantly contracting malaria. It was an ongoing issue. It got to a stage where they just didn't take it seriously. They're just like, yeah, I've got malaria. What do you do? And they became very sick, but there was nothing they could do about it. The treatment over there is more expensive than what they can afford. And say, for example, like £1 can help to get one of those little kits. And what they do is like prick your finger and they test your blood for malaria, because the parasites, what they do is they hide in your liver, and then they start to attack your blood cells, and eventually if you get it really, really bad, your organs shut down. So that's almost what happened to me. So I was very lucky. So they test it for it in your blood, and it's very, very cheap. My target for my Live Below the Line is £50. I've actually raised more than that because I have incredibly generous friends and colleagues, which I'm really pleased about, because the more the better, really. A little bit of money can go a very long way when treating and preventing malaria. It's not just treatable, but it's very easily prevented. Like, for example, my target was £50, so that could go to train a nurse in Botswana to diagnose and help treat the disease. So the fact that they can diagnose it, treat it, you know, that for 50 quid you can't even get like a decent first aid course over here for 50 quid, never mind diagnosing and treating malaria for 50 quid. It's a pretty good bargain, I'd say. But yeah, so this is going to be the first of about 5 or 6 vlogs, and I'm going to be doing this every night. And if you tune into my blog every single night, I'll post it on my Twitter and my Facebook for friends and family who are, have added me on there. But if you come back every night, I'll tell you about how I'm feeling, reflect on the day, how it's affected me during like my daily tasks, my ability to work, which I expected to hinder my ability to work as well as I could do, because I do have a full-time job along with other projects that I'm doing, so it's going to be tough. I'm also training for a 5k in Belfast, and it'll be interesting to see how living on very little food or poor quality food is going to affect my ability to train for that this week, so that'll be quite interesting as well. But yeah, come back and see me. If you are doing the challenge or interested in the challenge, just leave me a comment below or tweet me. My name's Denise Donnelly, so it's 2 N's and 2 L's. So if you're interested in linking up with me, I'm very easy to find online. It's kind of what I do. So I have a pretty prominent online presence. So if you just Google my name, then you can find me. And I'd love to link up with you or answer any of your questions you've got. And if you could share this vlog, I'd really appreciate it. Not just to raise awareness about living below the line and living on a pound a day, but also hopefully to raise a bit more money for Malaria No More UK, which again is a really personal issue and it's close to my heart. And hopefully you will see the benefit of giving towards that charity too. So yeah, so come back and see me tomorrow night, and hopefully I'll more than likely be looking a lot more peckish than I am right now. See you later.